Once you're ready to paint, okay, we have an area, we have a window here, and we're going to do a little painting that just something similar to this, okay. What we want is to start establishing some color right in here, okay. This will be will just be what I classify as a little sketch, and you can do these in 5 minutes, under 5 minutes, okay. And look at these wonderful brushes that they have out now. The Miller Golden Fleece, the American Journey, and what I like about them is the handles. Look at how nicely they fit in the palm of your hand, okay? And you can just work them very, very easily here. And they come in all sorts of different sizes here, okay? And look at all you got some rounds and you have some flats. I like to get the best bang for my dollar, and so as you noticed with the sketch pens that I like to cover a big area at a time. So this is what I would use, is this little brush here or this brush here. One is, it's just whatever your personal preference is on this. They both look like they can hold a lot of paint, and you get your setup here, okay? And I have my palette here, okay? I open this up and I set the lid there against that, okay? As you can see, I have loaded up this 400 Joe Miller palette with wonderful American Journey paint. Look at all the wonderful colors I have. Do not set your palette up the way I set mine up. My palette only makes sense to me, okay? And so I have some warm colors here. I have some greens, some cools all the way over to here, and then I go back into some warm colors back here, and then I have my earth tones here. So set your palette up the way you want it to be, okay? And let's be very fast with this. The quicker you can do these, the better off they are, okay? So we'll just start with some Cobalt. I like that nice blue sky there. So what we'll do is we'll just start doing this. See how nice that color rolls on there, okay? I'm not going to get the same thing I drew over here. I'm not after the same thing. I want something that's close, okay? And let's there, okay, look at that. Try to paint within your little border here. Okay, once we have the blue sky, I was noticing here after I put that blue in, I was a little overzealous here. So what I will do, my shape's a little bit bigger than this right here. So basically what I'll do is I'll make the cloud formations a little smaller, which will be fine, you know. I try never to make two of the drawing and the little small painting exactly the same, because then you have two separate pieces of work here. Okay, here we go. We're starting with this here, and I started with some Cobalt blue. I put a little Andrew's Turquoise in it, and I'll throw a bit of yellow in there, and with that, then that should, what we're after, we're just after the big shape back here, okay? We're coming down, and let's just do that like this and come down, and then we'll go out like that, okay? Use these brushes here and just lay as much color as you can very quickly. Okay, we're going to come down here, and now we're going to start doing the little farmhouses here. So just cut around them. Paint as if you had colored paper and a pair of scissors. How would you go about it? Well, you'd go about it very simple, okay? And I can see here that I can always move that roof top up on the barn there, but that'll be fine. Let's do that. Now, as I did with the value pens here, let's establish the foreground with this here. So just throw more yellow in that mixture there, okay? And we can just come in here like this and just come out like this. These brushes work great for this, okay? See how simple that is? You know, I like this way it looks like it's just so sketchy. I like these areas where I've gone over there a little bit. Okay, now what we can do next, let's go in and we can start working a little on the house structures here, okay? So what I would want, I'm going to have the white walls, so I'm going to put a very, very kind of a brownish tint on the roof, the shingles here. Come over here and just come in and just do this, okay? What we need to do is we just make it very simple. The simpler you can make your shapes, the better off you will be. If you want an exact replication of it, well, then take your camera and do that, okay? Now coming down here, I see I'm looking over here, and I have a little shed roof there, okay? and I'm looking over here, and I have this here that goes just something like this. I'm going to leave that white roof there, and that's going to come down, and it's going to go over like that, okay? Now let's go right in there like that. Now what I need to do now is I need a dark green, so I'll just throw a little Joe's green in there mixture, and then I can come up and I can start putting some little trees up into this area here like this, okay? Let's see what that'll do. I want to put a little blue in that, a little ultramarine. I want to change the value on that a little bit and coming up like this, okay? And what we can do here is we can, if you want, you can always come up here and you can always start showcasing little trees that are in this area up in here, okay? Let's bring that up like that. See, I like to leave some of the original paint on there. Okay, I can come up over here like this. There we go, and coming down here. Now we have a big tree right in front of that barn there, so let's put that in like that. And then we have all this in the foreground here, so we can just come up here and just do that. Just play around, just have fun with it, okay? Now, once we have it to there, what we have to do next is we need to put a light source on it, okay? I could come in here, and this is awful confusing there with all those little areas there. So just kind of soften that up. And you can see I painted this whole area with this little brush right here. Okay, now what you can do is you can go to these other little brushes here. Now we can start using the rounds here. Okay, the rounds work very nicely for tight work. Okay, for laying in the big areas, as you will see on the 12 by 16 that I will do in a few minutes. Okay, what you need is you need to get the paint down quickly, and you need to get it down as professionally as you can. Okay, when painting, let's make a statement, whether it's good or bad. Okay, but let's make a good statement. Okay, and okay, I have some beads of paint here. I need to pick those up. Now, one of the areas where I live, it is our humidity is about 5%. So if I was at home, this would be ready to put a shadow on. But what we can do is we can use these rounds here. Now also too, what is a very wonderful travel brush is this thing right here. And for the life of me, I was wondering, what in the heck is this? And I started twisting on it, and look at that. This is a cheap Joe number 6, and it has a brass handle on it. This is great for travel. You can just go here like this, and be sure you don't do that. Come over here and do that. And then you can use the brush, put it in your pocket, and away you go. This would be so interesting to use with this here on the road, okay? As you can see now, as this is starting to dry, the paint will dry lighter than when you put it on. So in your application of paint, if you put it on and you think you have the color just right the first time, but when it dries, it'll probably dry lighter, so you'll have to go in and you'll have to tweak certain areas, okay? Now, what I always like to do is I always like to wait till the very end before I start tweaking things, okay? Okay, now as I can see here, what I want is I want to have a very nice selection of my light source coming through here with the shadow, which I use as a number 5 on the value pins here, okay? It will be a mid-tone. What I've been noticing about my mid-tones is that I once read somewhere where Rex Brandt stated that the mid-tones are the cement of a composition that ties it all together. He was absolutely correct. And so in this art business, we all learn from everybody else. So everything that I have done for you today is I have learned from everybody that I have studied with over the years. Okay, I first painted my first watercolor in 1969. At the time, I was wondering how I would be painting later in life. Well, now that I'm in later life, I have painted thousands of these, but I still have the most enjoyment by doing these little quick sketches here. And if you keep them small, you get the flavor of outside, okay? For the life of me, I cannot understand why I can go outside and I can paint a little sketch like this, a doodle, whatever you want to call it, and I go inside and I try to reproduce it bigger, I can never get the same flavor you get outside. So I have two types of painting that I do. I do outdoors and I keep them small. Okay. In the 80s, when I was taking watercolor classes, I'd go around and I would take classes from Frank Webb. I'd take classes from Robert E. Wood or Shapiro, and they all painted full-size sheets outside, and they were masters. They were basically masters at doing it. Well, I have to be honest with you, I'm not that much of a master yet, okay? I like to just concentrate on the small stuff outside, so I can do 3 or 4 small ones as versus one big one, okay? And always when you're outside, you do not have the most ideal conditions. And what I have found, I have painted a full sheet on this rig here, and it was in a 20-mile-an-hour wind. And what I had to do to stabilize this is I got a 10-pound rock and I set right there, and I was amazed at how solid this design is. So versus comfort and what you can, the utility of it, then I really love this setup. As you can see, I slop paint over everything, which is great. That's my mojo, okay? Someone said, why don't you wipe it off? And I said, no, that's my mojo, I'll lose it. Okay, now, once that I have been talking here, and this has since dried, so what we're doing is we're looking for a light source, okay? What I will do is I'll use Cobalt blue and Perm Rose. I've found that that's the most pleasing. This has become a glaze. Okay, that's about the consistency about it right there, okay? Oh, now look at the sun. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's what we were drawing it here. We guessed at it, and then when it finally happened, look at it. Oh my goodness. Okay, very quickly, let's just use this square brush and we can go like this. This is our light source. And as I stated earlier, I'm not going to put that chimney on the very dormer end because I want that big area of white there, okay? Now, this here is out further there, and so what you have is you have this, and let's see, there's a big area, and we have one here like that, and then this whole end would be in shadow here. That'd come down like that, okay? Look at how those simple shapes are starting to really take off here, okay? So we have that. One thing I like about these big brushes is they hold a lot of paint. You might have to pick up that bead there, okay? And we're coming down here, and look at the repetition that I stated earlier. If there's a shadow there, well, by all means, there'll be a shadow there, okay? And the same with over here. Let's put that in right there, and we can run it here. And as I said, you can put a shadow on this tree if you like here. The shadow's down here. The more you do here with this, the more definition you'll get. Okay, now I had some areas, some foliage in front of there like that, coming down. Now, before I go any further, what I have to do is I have to instigate some real darks here. So let's just get some ultramarine and just put in with whatever we have here. If you want to darken it up a little, then throw some red in it, okay? Just try all sorts of different combinations out here. This is what you're out here. And let's push that, let's bring that forward. And the way we can do that is with that. And I see that there's a big tree here, so let's just put that dark in right there. And let's just, we can put it in here. And there would be a dark right in here. So let's just throw a dark right in here, and like that, okay? I like what I have going here. Let's just do that. And I see how those darks really show off nicely. If you want to showcase that that gable in there, then do that. See how nice? Now look at that nice little sketch. Now for the clouds, look at that now. Look at the sun. It just moves. The sun moves so quickly out here that you have to be very careful, and you have to paint quickly. And we're almost done with this little. Let's come up here and let's get rid of that white corner. Let's come up here and this will go out like that. And I will tell you that that is a little cloud here, and let's just do that and let's run it all over here. All the way over here. Just like that. And if you look at my sketch, it's not exactly the same, but it has a fresh feel to it. Now, getting back to this brush here, okay, this brass brush here. This is wonderful here. This is the first I've ever seen this here, I think. I'm going to take with one of these with me wherever I go. Okay. Okay. What we will do here is we will get some darks here. Okay. We need a few darks just to finish this off here. Okay. So let's mix a blue, red, and brown, and we'll get some nice darks here. We can put a tree trunk in here, okay, like this here. Okay. We can throw a window in here. Okay. Let's look over here. I have that there. Okay. And then we have a couple in here. Okay. And we could just put some tree trunks here, something like that. We could, I see there's a utility pole, but I'll move it over here, like right to there, like that, okay? And here too, if you want, you could put a fence post like that and kind of work into the composition here. Now, once I do that, I come back in, I pick up some more shadow material, okay? And the little foliage here, let's have some shadows running across there. Okay, so all in all, we have a nice little sketch. You can take it from a small black and white up to color. And now my next segment of this will be, we'll go to a 12 by 16. Okay, and also too, what if you'd like to do, what you can do here with these is, what I like to do is I like to sign my name to it. I'm very proud of what I do, so the last thing you need to do on this is to put your signature on it, okay? Even these very small ones, I wrote my signature here. So let's just use this wonderful little liner brush here. It is, I don't know what the number of that one is. It's a number 2 right here, and it's a very fine liner. Okay, your name is a piece of paint. You know, you could put it down here if you want. You could go down here. Let's do it the same as this over here. And then if somebody ever wanted to frame that, they'd have to frame the whole thing. And if you have any signature status, put it on. Okay. I do not date my paintings, but I date my drawings. Okay. Okay. You can do with whatever you want. But okay, this is what I call information gathering. Okay. Now I'm ready to go. I have familiarized myself with the composition. Okay, I have familiarized myself with the lights and the darks, the values, and I found my whites. And as you can see, the composition changes constantly. So once you set yourself, you set that shape in motion, you have to go with it. This is why I like to do the sketch, and I'll refer to the sketch. If you keep looking at there, you're going to keep changing your composition, all your values. So, you know, you're working outside. And the quicker you can do these paintings, the better off you'll be, because the sun is moving quickly. And from 10:30 in the morning to say 1:30 in the afternoon, the shadows move so quickly. So just be aware of that when you're outdoors. Okay. And like I say, once you have this here, like this, then everything, and look at this here. Look at this. Okay. I think I can do a very fine little painting once I get done with it. And but one thing I do know is it will be mine. And look at this. Look how nice this works here, okay? You can just take this with you and you open it up, okay? You read over here where I was, and it's very sticky and hot. And then over here you have what I classify as a nice little quick sketch, okay? Sometimes these little quickies are better than your big paintings. So don't ever sell these short. And if you do this year after year after year, then you can get a very nice collection of work. And now I can take this into the studio and I can do as big a painting as I want, as long as I keep the proportions the same as this. Okay? Okay.